Ready to embark on a journey of limitless curiosity? Join us on the Being Curious Show, where we curiously connect teachers and seekers in a safe space, exploring a vast array of topics that spark the flame of curiosity within you. We've created a community for thoughtful discussions where teachers share their wisdom and seekers explore the depths of their curiosity. It's a space where diverse perspectives come together, fostering connection and understanding. Our intention is simple: to ignite your curiosity and create a life that totally lights you up. Hey everybody, it's Kelly from the Being Curious Show. Look, I'm wearing glasses tonight that are a little funky. Isn't this going to be fun? Okay, you guys, I just want to jump right in. I really hope you're doing well. Lots going on in the world. This show is going live and being taped on the eve of 8/8, and I'm wondering what our guests today have to say about this Lionsgate portal that's going to be opening up and all the things going on. So you know that I interview people from all over the world, and I'm extremely blessed, but I have a little secret soft spot when I can invite like-minded people that are also psychic mediums. Because, you know, that's when Kelly starts thinking telepathically, and I start to channel, and everything gets kind of cray-cray. And, you know, that's when the fun happens. You know that. So without further ado, what I'm going to introduce you guys to are the Two Psychics podcast. Now, the Two Psychics from the East Coast have the podcast. See, guys, look, I'm already going. It's already coming. Okay. Michael and Mary Amy offer powerful experiences about psychic phenomenon, spirituality, and self-help. Episodes in their podcast cover exciting topic segments such as mediumship, past lives, remote viewing, chakras, angels, predestined, self-love, meditation, and visualization and they allow guests to call in. They do psychic readings. I'm already not even using English. This is going to be so much fun. I can't wait to have these two on. So without any further ado, let's welcome Michael to the show and Amy to the show. How's that?
Hello.
Sorry,
Kelly.
Amy, I should have given you a little 3, 2, 1 heads up. I apologize.
No, Mary. It's like it's Mary. Amy's the last name. That's okay.
Oh,
you said it initially correct. That's okay.
It flows though. The Mary Amy flows.
Yeah, it's all good. No problem. We're entering the Lionsgate portal. That's what's happening here. 8/8.
I get everybody's name wrong, so that doesn't surprise me at all. I've had Sam Smith on the show, and I'm and your name is right. So I apologize. We're just going to start, you guys, the rest of the show is just going to all be telepathy. It's going to be great. It's going to be a little quiet and discuss amongst yourselves.
So I have to apologize ahead of time for sounding a little froggy tonight. I had a large event I did last night and woke up with no voice today. And those of you that know me and have heard me know I love to talk, but I'm raspy and have a little different dialect to the tone tonight.
That's okay. Well, welcome to the show. Okay, so what are you curious about? And it's maybe say it in a couple words and then take a sip of tea.
Would you like to go first, Mary?
What am I curious about? Is that what you're asking me?
Yes,
well,
please.
I'm curious because when you were speaking, I started receiving information about you.
You know what was really funny is I was going to ask you guys if you guys want to read me because I'm totally open to it.
Yeah, we could do that. We could definitely do that.
I just, this is just starting. So I got French and I got beret. You have this line running that you're running along. It's a wavy line. It's your timeline. And you like to run it alone. You sometimes have to force yourself to be around other people, and you do love friendships. Then just now I saw a jungle. So you are very comfortable around any kind of person because you morph into someone that is comfortable with them, joining with them, harmonious with them. you have many interests, and it's kind of overwhelming, and you have to block off time and kind of segregate, like I have to do this and then you jump over here. um there's a lot. You have a lot. I just saw a flash of red. I don't know if that's a warning or that's an alert or that's some kind of exciting, because red is bold. You have a boldness about you. But so I don't know. I'll just do it while we're doing the show, and then I'll just send
All
you
right,
a note.
I'll reel it back in a little bit, and I'll go to the question: what am I curious about? So I would have to say my curiosity lies beyond what is beyond our five senses, what lies beyond this physical realm. That's what intrigues me. That's what runs my curiosity, and I think that's a great place for us to start. Because us all being psychic, and Kelly, you and I being mediums, I think we understand that there's so much more that lies beyond our physical senses. And us as humans, unfortunately, past civilizations had known and they connected to these otherworldly things, our psychic abilities, our intuition. And I believe it was part of daily life and rituals. And we think about vision quests, and we think about these ancient cultures and how integrated it was. And unfortunately, our current human civilization has gotten away from that. And I have to say, I'm very thankful for people like you, people like us, bringing it back to the forefront, and this awakening that's happening. And especially, you talk about the 8-8, the Lions portal, that's occurring. And we are just going in, we're just coming from that Mercury retrograde, and a lot of powerful energy shifts. So my thing for anyone, I would say, we're going into a very powerful cycle of manifesting. I mean, there's going to be, I think, a lot of things unearthed and a lot of truth revealed. So if you were navigating things that you were uncertain about, or relationships, friends, family, and you had questions, I think that stuff will come to the surface. And I think it's very important that we take a step back and we become very mindful and very present to the energy that we're experiencing, this internal and external energies. And I think if we can do that, this can be one of the most powerful cycles for manifesting.
That's fantastic. Giddy up. Let's do this. Okay, Mary Amy, I have to say it's really fun watching you like dial in and all the bubbles over your head. Do you have a little update? Anything else outside of the red flash? I am kind of curious about the red flash.
Well, I have to stay tuned into everything going on here, and I can't just like not be joining. So I will come back to you, because I just have to listen to you for a minute, and then I hear your voice, and then all this information comes through. What am I curious about?
What are you curious about?
I'm so curious and so excited about this 3-eye atlas. Is it a mothership coming towards us, or is it a comet? They said today that the light's in front of it. Usually a comet, they have a tail and it's behind it. There's no tail. It's passing 3 planets. It's going to be here in October, November, December. Is that a mothership? That's what I'm curious about.
Ooh, Michael, what do you think?
I'm open to all aspects, and I'll tell you, Mary Amy takes me on these wild rides with otherworldly things, and for me, look at, I talk to spirit, I talk to the dead, so I'm open to all possibilities. I think it would be ignorant for us to think we're the only species here. Obviously, when we're doing mediumship, that's we're tuning into a different frequency, a different dimension, a divine dimension. But within this galaxy, I think it would be ignorant to think there aren't other living beings that coexist with us. And for all the new information that's coming out, all the conspiracy theories that they thought throughout the last several decades, that now you're having very high level military people that have serious documented facts and figures are they're showing us that, hey, this stuff has been documented. There's a lot of stuff that's been hidden. Is it for security reasons? Is it for control? I think there's a lot, we can go down a lot of rabbit holes with that. But I would have to say, I think it would be ignorant to say we're the only living beings in this galaxy.
Oh, I'll just say right then and there. I mean, like, bam, like if yes, it would be I actually had somebody in high school say, and we are it. And I looked at them and I was like, really? I think we're a big science experiment. I think I think coming to the planet and our souls are coming here to learn to love and
Yeah.
it's like we're like, I wonder what it's like to be 1,000 pounds. I wonder what it's like to be Brad Pitt. I wonder what it's like to be Ozzy Osbourne. I wonder what it's like to be insert X position or profession or height or weight or color or like whatever. I wonder what it's like to only have an arm. I mean, like there's all of these things that I think spirit is curious about, and then we incarnate as a science experiment. So I would think so I just read and I interviewed Regina Meredith, and she channeled Lee Harris channeled the Z's, and Regina Meredith asked the questions. And we are in a time of like no other. Like we signed up to be here right now,
Yeah.
and it is on. Like there is so much going on.
I agree.
Right? And so back to do you think it's a comet or a ship? I mean, how is it not
I think that's
obvious
to
that
be
it's a ship?
determined, but
that's okay.
I would think with looking at the advanced military technology that we know of and cloaking technology and what they can do, with that, I would think there's probably more out there than we know. That could definitely be something coming to us, otherworldly. But I think there's stuff already here. I think they are among us, whether it's old civilizations, whether we talk about the reptilians underground, whatever it may be. I think humans are just awakening to what's been here a long time, so I think we are, like you said, in a different way, I think we are the human zoo. This is definitely the Earth is or the universal zoo, Think about the eclectic life forms that are here. And I mean, just think about like the octopus, and how unique it is. And there's just some amazing creatures on this planet. And there's just so much biodiversity, so many different environments. I mean, think about the stuff that's in these deep black water, miles and miles down at the bottom of the ocean that we haven't even discovered yet. I mean, they're picking up seismic motion and movement in the water that they can't figure out what it is. They're hearing sounds with sonar that there is no reasonable explanation for. So there's so much out there, and I'm sure there's probably powers that be that have a better understanding or have unseen, unknown technology that they know what's going on and it's not shared with the general public. But I could tell you, as a medium and connecting on an energetic and telepathic level, I've connected to things that I can't explain. And they are definitely amongst us that are not of this world, and some things that are very old lineage that was beyond the human population. So it's there. And I mean, that's not something I talk about regularly. Normally I'm talking about evidential mediumship and validating death beyond, the physical body does not end the continuity of the soul. The soul carries on beyond the physical body. But I can tell you, as a medium and as a telepath and going into trance mediumship, I've connected and I've gone down some crazy rabbit holes. And there's definitely things that are out there that I don't know if the general population could even wrap their head around at this point.
They're going to have to.
Well, there are, but I think that's the slow release.
If this is a mothership, why is it taking so long? Because they could literally flash in and just land. Because they have to get us accustomed to the possibility, and everyone has to fight over it. And they have to say, oh, it's gonna attack us. It's gonna be an alien war or something. And then the other people are gonna say, oh no, they're benevolent, and it's the Galactic Federation of Light, and they're coming to save us. So there's going to be a lot of discussion, right? If it takes longer, then we all get to talk about it, and we can find out how we feel about it, right? And maybe the reason why we had giants and the pyramids were built was because they weren't human. And that's maybe they were another species of living creature.
Like the pyramids, like really, Stonehenge, really, like,
Yeah.
right, guys? Like, seriously?
Yeah.
Tataria?
Yeah, if you look at the precision, and the engineering that went into that we would still find it very, very difficult to recreate a lot of that with today's most highly advanced modern technology. And I mean, this has been talked about, like Robert Schoch. I mean, we've heard a lot of different, alien theorists, ancient history theorists discuss this in detail. And they talk about the level of engineering it would take is some of it's beyond what we even have capabilities for right now in our human, in the advanced human technology that we have. So you have to think there was something so much more advanced that was here. I mean, I truly believe there were several early advanced civilizations that were much more advanced than us. I mean, we can go back to Tartaria, we can talk about Atlantis, there's a number, but I do believe we are not the most advanced civilization that ever walked along the planet. And unfortunately, I think throughout history, a lot of it's been destroyed or covered up. But if we look at the world's fairs from the early 1900s and these massive structures that they say were built in 2-3 years time and then just destroyed, if we look at some of that, we couldn't recreate some of that with our technology today. So how did they build it in 2-3 years time with hammers, chisels, horse and buggy? It's idiotic to think that they did it in that way.
History is continually rewritten.
Yeah.
And they take down a civilization, and then and then people are exterminated, and then they build a new civilization and rewrite history books.
Well, aren't they taking down some of the Civil War monuments down in the southern parts of the United States? And something I don't know why, but I was in middle school fascinated with the Holocaust, like to the point where I was an encyclopedia of the Holocaust. My father was actually going to bring me to Auschwitz and to go see some of the camps when I was in high school, because I was just like a walking encyclopedia of it. And something that I thought about was, what's going to happen when the last survivors are gone, and how are they going to, air quotes, going to manipulate the past of it? And I think the Holocaust is just one example of how history has been rewritten and potentially could be rewritten. So how's that for a light thing to talk about?
Yeah. Hey, we're going deep. We're going deep.
Well, something I did do is I put out in the call for everybody if anyone wants a reading or a little check-in, then I sent them the link and they can pop in. So normally what we'll do is we just allow the comments to happen, but there's something special about tonight. So I sent a StreamYard link out to a beautiful person in the Edge community by the name of Carol Dutton, and she's going to pop in and ask some questions. How's that sound, you guys?
Yeah, that sounds great.
Oh, great. I just want to tell you really quick.
I was waiting for that.
Okay, so after the red, so there's this very strong stop and very strong go. It's deliberate that you engage with, and no one else can read you. You have to do it yourself. It's you're unpredictable is what I'm trying to say. I did receive singer, like an actual singer. And is that a dream of yours, or was that a past life? Also art, so there's a lot of creativeness going on, creativity going on with you. I did see you peeking through the grass with a magnifying glass, searching for butterflies. And that really is symbolic of how you look at the details of things. And sometimes it overwhelms you in that you spend more time than you want to, and then you go down. I mean, we could say a rabbit hole, but it's not even a rabbit hole. It's everything that you do. You really look down at it to the littlest structure and then you feel it, you understand it, and then you move on. That's what I received.
Okay. And my logo is a butterfly, by the way, right?
Oh no, I forgot that.
I know you did. That's why I was just going to remind you that my logo is a butterfly, right? No, but you know what? As in our world, it's kind of nice when you can get some of those little mini micro validations. At least I love it. And yes, the Edge magazine logo is a butterfly.
That's right. It's purple.
Right.
I forgot about that. I was just listening. I was just getting your energy.
You were just in full flow. I loved it. If anything else comes in, it's all good. Okay, I'm going to switch gears and invite Miss Carol Dutton to the show. Hi, Carol Dutton. You have to unmute yourself, or I'll just unmute you.
I found it.
Hello, Carol. Welcome.
Okay.
Welcome. Thank you.
Carol, tell us a little bit about yourself, and then what's your question?
I have so many talents that sometimes it's hard for me to figure out what I need to talk about. And I think tonight I really need to talk about the type of work I am doing now, which is connecting with souls. I am exploring some mediumship, but that's not what I concentrate on. I really do a lot of energy work. And I really have tied it into ancestral work. I do a modality called Irogenics Ancestral Eye Reading. I have created an ancestral connection ceremony for my clients and am really looking to expand how I can have a greater impact, not just for my clients or for myself, but really to help advance our community in exploring greater possibilities.
That was eloquent and multi-layer.
Yeah. So Carol, what I find intriguing about your energy, I do sense there's an artistic talent, there's this creative talent that you can blend into the metaphysical aspects of what you're doing. So what's interesting, I don't know if you're familiar with spirit drawing or auragraphs or that type of thing. I mean, there's a lot of mediums that are starting to do that now. It's pretty cool stuff. But for whatever reason, I'm really being drawn to you incorporating. Are you an artist? Do you draw, paint?
No, I don't. I've explored it slightly.
Okay.
But let's just say it wasn't my greatest efforts and forte.
Interesting. So I'll just share this with you a little bit. You may want to delve into some type of creative aspect. So whether that's incorporating, drawing or kind of maybe try to experiment with that a little bit. And sorry, my voice is a little froggy. I had an event last night, so I'm losing my voice a little bit. But I see you working with. I'm seeing you work with colors, and you're incorporating some type of creative outlet into the metaphysical. And I don't necessarily see you just working one-on-one with people. I don't know why I'm seeing you do some type of workbook, some type of almost like you're creating a guide or a book or a format for people to utilize the metaphysical aspects of what they're doing into processes and procedures and creating some type of system in there. But for whatever reason, I'm really being drawn. I'm seeing you actually drawing people's aura, like the auragraph. So if you're connecting to people and psychic things are coming to you about them, you can actually draw aspects of that and incorporate that in some type of art. I don't know why I'm seeing a lot of that very powerful in your energy field. Now, do you mind if I go into some mediumship stuff with you and talk a little bit? Because
I would love to hear your input.
Okay. So now I'll share with you a little bit when I'm connecting to your energy and how things are coming to me. So overwhelmingly, I have energy coming into my left-hand side. When it comes into my left-hand side, that's connected to mom's energy or lineage throughout mom. So I would have to say your mom is in spirit. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. So that's the energy I'm initially coming to. What's interesting is I have to talk about, are there Catholic connections or like Christian connections to mom?
No.
There's not. Okay. So then this is interesting. On that side of so for some reason on the female side, what she's talking about you bridging a gap between like traditional like religious connections and spirituality. So I'm not sure what your connection is to that, or if you're familiar with some traditional and non-traditional aspects of religion and spirituality. But I feel like there's some way you can tune people in that maybe have been closed off to this, or traditional religion has kept them closed off to developing their psychic abilities, their psychic powers, prophetic word, gift of knowledge. But I'm seeing some type of bridge. You're bridging some type of gap there. I also have to talk about the letter A as being significant. So I don't know if there's an "an" or the A around you. So I don't know if that's in the family lineage around mom, around you, or they're showing me that as a significant connection to you here in the physical. Can you take that, the A or the "an"?
Well, my middle name is Joanne, and there was great discussion between my parents when they were going to be naming me.
Because that you're like, I feel as if your mom is imprinting that on me, the "and," the A, the "and," or something around that. And when I connect in a mediumship way, I'm trying to bring through evidence and pieces of information that I wouldn't know. So I do believe mom is trying to imprint some personal experience that that I don't. And so yeah, can you talk a little bit about the "and"?
Just my father's grandmother's name her middle name was Anne.
Okay.
No, her first name was Anne.
Her first name was Anne. Okay, so
Yeah,
with mom giving me that name, so this is how it works. So understand, I mean, I'm just kind of turning the volume up right now, and I'm connecting to you more and more on a energetic mediumship level. So mom giving me the name Anne, I would have to say, even though I'm not connecting to grandmother per se, I'm hearing mom the loudest. She's definitely imprinting the name Anne. So I would say that your grandmother Anne would be with her, and she's acknowledging her name, because obviously I don't know anything about you. I don't know what your family members are named.
Right.
They're also imprinting on me the 17. So when I see 7, I don't know if the 17th is significant or going to be significant to you, but sometimes with the 1-7, that could also be a January and July. So I don't know if those dates or the 17 are significant. Now, understand, Kelly, I'm also connecting to your energy. So if you can take a little bit of this, just let me know, because I'm kind of opening in, and so I may be connecting to some of your energy also. But for when I connect to, does the 17 have any significance to you? The 1-7 or the January, July?
My mother's birthday is in January, or
Okay,
was in
there we go.
January.
Yeah. Okay. And what about the 7 that goes along with that? The January 7th?
Her birthday was January 8th.
Okay.
So, and who knows, maybe she's saying she was a little late.
No, well, she's definitely. So when I get the 17, if the 17, the number itself isn't specific to you, anniversaries, deaths, their passing, then I definitely feel as she's talking about the January and the July. So just be aware of the month of July also.
Okay.
But I do believe if you can confirm that January, she's definitely kind of validating that she's around you and her connection to you. Otherwise, I wouldn't be getting this clear of information. So you're an open channel for her. Do you regularly get the signs and synchronicities connecting to her?
She talks to me all the time.
Yeah. Okay. Absolutely. So that's why she's coming in so loud and clear in this session. And I think it's just another way for her to validate that she's around you and she's guiding you. But what's really interesting, I don't know what, and again, I'm being so drawn into talking to you about allowing the creative outlet to unfold. So I don't know if you're going through everything in a very systematic way of how you're trying to run, do what you're doing in the psychic metaphysical stuff. But I would definitely, whether you do automated writing or you just start painting and look at, I don't think you should have any expectations that you're going to be this master artist creating, just allow yourself to just flow in that energy. And I think something very magical is going to come from that. I think you're going to experience some type of trance state that'll come from that. That's going to give you guidance and insight of how you need to proceed. But I see you working with larger groups, not necessarily people one-on-one. And I'm seeing you do some type of process and procedure to allow people to kind of take that workbook or that workshop and see it in a systematic way. So now I don't know if there's a teacher background I'm seeing a lot of analytical processes and procedures around you that I normally see with someone that was a teacher or worked in the banking system or like with money finance. So what are you very process and procedure? Like I'm seeing everything bulletized around you.
That's kind of how my mind works. And
Yeah.
in the corporate world, my career was working in customer service and bookkeeping.
Yeah. Okay. So the bookkeeping. So that's where I'm seeing the numbers and the finance.
Yep.
Okay. So that's it. Yeah. So you can actually see the big thing. A lot of times we'll tell people you want to get out of that right brain because the right brain is the analytical and it kind of blocks some of our natural flow in our psychic mediumship state. But for you, I'm seeing you kind of use a hybrid version of that. So you may want to experiment with hemisync or binaural beats that'll put you into that dualistic state of mind. And I think that's where you're going to go into a trance flow. And a lot of this information and a lot of this insight is just going to naturally come, So I think that'll be very powerful for you. But again, it's funny. Mom's pulling me back. She's pulling me back. Now, interesting thing. We had talked with Kelly off air a little bit about pets and a lot, I had talked about, I had recently lost my dog and the grief around that. But what's interesting is with Mom, it's weird. I feel as if was there a big dog in childhood around Mom?
My mom loved boxers, and we had several of them growing up.
Okay.
Very interesting. One of them was very ill. The vets couldn't figure out what was wrong. And when he died, they asked to send his body to the University of Minnesota vet school. And he was one of the first dogs that they diagnosed as having diabetes.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. That's pretty amazing. So I definitely feel as if there's a lot of animal, canine energy around Mom, around you. Now, what's really weird, and I'm going to give Mary Amy a chance to do a little bit, but I'm not sure why I'm seeing an image of a squirrel. And it's really weird. So I don't know if there's a squirrel connection or something weird happened with you recently with a squirrel or Mom had a pet squirrel or something, but I have to talk about squirrel or the name squirrel. Does that have any significance to you?
It was a very common phrase we used when we weren't paying attention.
Oh, there
it's
we
like,
go.
Squirrels.
There we go. Okay, because that's what she's saying to me. She's kidding around and she's laughing. So you know what might be really cool for you? I think Mom may throw, normally we're looking for the angel numbers, the penny or the feather. There might be some weird squirrel things that happen around you, or you're behind someone and they have a squirrel sticker or something weird like that. But I would pay attention to that squirrel thing because I almost feel what's funny is she wants to validate that. And she's kind of comical. Like as I'm connecting more and more and her personality's opening, I feel like she was a talk. Like, was she kind of chatty Cathy? Did she talk? Did she have a lot to say?
Yes, she did. And when my dad had something to say, he didn't get lots of time.
That's funny because I feel like because it's not like she's the only energy and spirit around you, but I feel like she wants to monopolize it because I think she wants to validate her connection to you and that the conversations you're having with her are absolutely real. They're there, and she will give you insight and guidance. So definitely take note to what's coming to you when you're connecting to her. And don't forget about the squirrel. So with that, I'm gonna pass.
Yeah,
that
don't forget about the squirrels. Okay, Mary Amy, you have been very busy. What are you getting?
Well, okay, so Carol, I just would like to be clear. When you started speaking, I don't know if I knew exactly what your question was, but I did come up with information. Did you have a direct question, or were you just telling us about what you were doing?
The question really kind of focuses around how I can have a greater impact for whether it's my community or our society in general through the work that I'm now doing, which is not bookkeeping.
Okay, so I'll just tell you what I received, and then let's see if anything else comes through. Okay, so initially I saw this cloud, this white cloud, this muddy, unclear, just this shape. And I realized there's the answer behind it. And I actually have a question for you, and I'll say that, and then you think about it. What do you love the most and want to pursue? Okay, so I saw you looking up to the sky and making a wish. You have this naive outlook, and you're very open. You can be underappreciated, but you have this strength that rises up without even trying, and it's always been there. And you, without knowing, you just keep moving regardless of what kind of commotion's going on around you, what other people's opinions are. You just keep going. You have a lot of good luck, and it's easy for you to manifest a goal. It's almost like you tumble into it, or if you mention it, all of a sudden there's somebody right next to you that, oh, well, I can help you with that. That's what I received. And your question was, what can you do? But what do you want to do is more important than what everything is that's needed, because you have to fulfill what you're supposed to do here and what's in your spirit. So I'm going to give that back to you. I heard you say many areas that you were working on, and maybe you pick one and focus on it for a little while before do you understand what I'm trying to say, Carol?
Oh, I do understand. And I'm leaning more and more towards my speciality, focusing on ancestral, whether it's through even doing my Reiki or energy work, calling in the ancestors during the healings, doing some of the public speaking of, your ancestors gave you more than just DNA, and how can you explore to find out what else your ancestors are offering you? So that kind of ties in with Michael saying doing presentations or working in groups.
I received that. How often do you ground yourself, and to make sure that you are grounding yourself, because you have a tendency to get up here in your head, and it gets a little confusing, or you go off in another direction. So I'm making a suggestion to put your weight in your bottom. Imagine your feet going down into the earth. Let out a breath so that you are more connected to the earth.
That's very good advice, because usually it's when a day or two after I always call it my space cadet era, that I remember, oh yeah, you belong to the earth a little bit here. You better get back down there.
Well, the one thing too, Carol, is what I want to add in. I do believe you need to push yourself beyond what you feel your limits. So I'm not saying there's really constraining self-limiting beliefs, because I do believe you're kind of pushing out that barrier, but I do believe there's a lot of internal gifts that you haven't explored yet. So I don't necessarily know if you've developed everything to its fullest, to where you truly know what you can give back and what you can completely give. The ancestral thing is phenomenal, and I think you can help a lot of people with that, but I don't think that's it. I think there's a lot more in there. And I think you need to push through that, any barriers, any walls, and really explore those deep depths of your soul. And I think it's going to put you on a completely new trajectory. And I think you're going to be doing things in a year, 2 years from now that you never would have thought you were even doing. And you're going to be blowing people's minds with that. You have a very powerful energy, but I don't think you give yourself enough credit of how powerful you are. And I think you need to break through that. I think you need to challenge yourself and push yourself. So if you think, all right, this is it, I'm at full capacity, well, then you need to, you need to turn the knob from 10 to 12. You know what I mean? So,
well,
yeah.
Carol, I'm also seeing you having, and I am in my daughter's art room, but I'm seeing that you'll have colored pencils and like smelly markers, and you'll have like Sharpies, and you'll have like the sketchbook, and that you'll just start with circles, and then you might start drawing eyes, and then you might just do 222s and 999s, and it won't make sense,
Yeah.
but you're just going to have that flow. And I think it'd be really, really beautiful. Just date it and time it, and then just flip the page. And like, you might see something and you might go, okay, I'm done, and flip the page, and you might come back to it. But I just see like you carrying this journal around and then just letting it flow. And I think that could be really fun. And it's for your eyes only. It's not like you have to go like, how is my portrait? No, it's all about just the symbols and the shapes and that finding that flow.
Yeah, turning it on and getting it underway, getting it into motion, And I feel as if you're your own worst critic. So just think, if it's 80%, release it, get it out there. Don't wait till it's 100%, or you're going to be sitting on it forever. So sometimes you have to bust past the walls of the ego. The ego wants to keep us safe. It wants everything perfect. And I can tell you, you're going to be pushing and breaking barriers. And at 80%, you're probably doing what other people would think is their 100%. So don't allow any self-limiting beliefs to slow you down.
Well, I'm pushing the barriers in a month by doing a retreat. And I've never led a retreat before.
Oh, good.
That's
Good.
all for healers to heal each other. So we can concentrate on healing ourselves and not worry about clients, because it seems like no matter what type of energy work or healing work is done, we focus too much on clients and forget about ourselves way too often.
Yeah, absolutely. I think
And
that
so
sounds
that's outside
amazing.
the box. Yeah.
Fill our own cup so we can fill the cup of others. Absolutely. I think that's beautiful.
Yep.
Okay, Carol, before we let you go, how do people find out more about that retreat?
They can contact me either at CAROL at CAROLDUTTON USA.com, or go to my website. Again, that's www.carol.usa.com.
Can I do a little plug before we lose Carol? We let her, Carol, to try to connect with the right and left hemisphere. There's something called hemisync binaural tones. If you go onto any music streaming platform, check out my album, Divine Journey of a Mystic Soul by Michael Edley. I incorporate hemisync binaural tones, and I specifically designed this not just for people that couldn't meditate, but I designed it for practitioners, healers, psychics, and mediums that wanted to try to go into a trance state and access those deep creative, valleys that are in their soul that maybe they haven't accessed before. So Divine Journey of a Mystic Soul by Michael Edley. Check it out. I think you would really tune into that, and it would help immensely with you kind of finding this new path and allowing it to unfold in a very natural, holistic way.
I see you playing it at your retreat.
That's just what was spinning in my mind as he was talking about it.
Hey, I'd love for you to play it, and it's any streaming platform you're listening to or on or have access to, it's there.
Wonderful. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Carol, for popping on. We'll see you soon.
See you soon.
Okay, you guys, we have one more special person for a reading, and then we'll go back to the three of us. How does that sound? And great. Mary Amy, you're going to kick this one off, and then Michael's going to pop in so he can have a little bit of his tea.
All right.
Okay, here we go. Okay, let's just wiggle it out. Get ready for someone very magical. Stand by.
That was a big introduction, Kelly.
I try. Hello, Mr. Eric. How are you?
Hi, I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing well. And this is Michael and Mary Amy. And I said her name wrong. Shocker. Like, isn't that great? Okay, what is your question, sir? What would you like to know tonight with these amazing people?
I kind of broke them down based on what you do. So, Mary Amy, I would just love some information on some projects that I have in the works, that some are individuals, some are partnerships, and just kind of where they're going, or if they need a little fine tuning, that kind of thing. Michael, I'll just tell you, 2025 has been a year of tremendous loss for me, and I would just love some messages. I don't care what
Sure.
Just something to take the edge off of it, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
See what I did there, Kelly?
So I know I see Mary Amy dialing in, and I see all the bubbles over Michael's head. So whoever wants to go.
You go first,
for it.
Michael, 'cause I'm gunning.
You want me to go first? Okay.
I want it to be thorough. I don't want it to be all
And
over
it's
the place.
Eric, can you just give me your first name slowly one time so I can start connecting more to your energy?
My first name?
Yes.
Yeah, Eric.
Eric. All right. So what's interesting, so I'll share with you how the energy, as I connect and I open and tune more into your energy, what's coming to me. So what's interesting, I have overwhelming energy coming into my right side. When it comes into my right side, it's usually tied into dad's energy. But the interesting thing, I have energy not only coming in at like a 90, at almost like a 90-degree angle, but I have it coming across. So there's much younger energy that's around you, that's in spirit. There's definitely younger male energy. So I'm going to talk about a couple things. So I'm getting the B. I don't know if there's a Bobby or Robert that's around you. Now, understand when I'm bringing through, I would love to connect to who you want to connect to, but I could also be connecting to, and sometimes it's a neighbor, a friend, a coworker. But I'm not sure what the Bob or the Robert is. But I'm seeing the B. Can you take a B? That's significant.
So one of the people I lost was my mom's dad. Okay. My grandfather. He always called my mom Bert or Bobby.
Okay.
So that kind of hit me at first. I was like, I'm not getting a B. But the younger part of that then kind of put that together because he did that when she was younger. And then as long as I knew her, she was Bert.
Okay. So let me talk about dad. So coming through on that side, I'm definitely connecting to lineage around you. Now, dad is still here in the physical?
My dad is still here, yes.
Okay. So that's why I want to kind of see where they're coming in. So that's why I tried to say an older energy and coming at an angle. When they come in at an angle, old lineage. So I have the interesting thing, I'm definitely getting European connections to older energy around dad. So I don't know if grandfather was, European, but he's definitely showing me he came from outside of the country.
Sure.
Now,
yeah.
The interesting thing too, I'm also seeing he's handing me the folded military flag. So I don't know what the military connection is and who was the military, but I don't know if you have that flag or it's in the family. But he's handing me a flag. So I know there's significance, military connections, and what is that connection? What is that flag connection? Was he military?
So it kind of ties into a different area. So the other person that I lost both of my remaining grandparents in the span of 2.5 weeks.
Okay.
For that. My grandmother was cremated. That was on my dad's side. Was cremated and is interred with my grandfather at the National Cemetery. He was an electrician in the Navy.
Okay. So there's
the flags and all of those things are definitely in the family. And
the interesting thing. So now I have to talk about, is that flag being displayed? So this is interesting. I feel like it's not in the right place it's supposed to be. So I don't know if it was displayed and put away or it was moved, but they're showing me that it's not where it should have been, or they're kind of kidding around about that a little bit, but they're like, why isn't it in that room where it was? What's the deal with that?
There's a lot of dysfunction in that side of the family, and the person that has it will probably never see it again.
Okay. Well, but just know, I mean, they're connected to you, and for me, just kind of opening and jumping in and connecting to your energy, and them to start coming through that quick, they're so connected to you. Now, the interesting thing, I'm not sure why I'm going to give you some symbolism that they're imprinting on me, and understand I'm getting, like, they're flashing all of my clairs. I'm seeing things, I'm hearing things. So I'm seeing like a little tricycle or like a little bike. I feel like there's an old little metal bike, small one. And I'm also seeing like a transistor radio. So I'm not sure what the deal is with the transistor radio or the small bike. I don't know if they're bringing me to childhood memories or they're significant to you or them, but can you take any of those pieces of information?
Yeah, I don't know that I have a direct answer to that yet, but it also doesn't feel like, okay, Michael, you're off in left field there. There is something there that I can feel. I think like as the bike came through, so I live in Minnesota now. I didn't grow up here, But when I would come up to visit my grandparents, they always had an older bike that was available for me to ride, like the banana seat bike, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So that gave me
Well,
like that,
Well, what's interesting, a lot of times they'll try to imprint periods when they were here with us in the physical that were very important. And for some reason, that bike is coming very prominently. I almost feel as if I don't, whether they were a big impact of helping you ride, kind of helping you take that first step and kind of, here you go, you're going to, but I feel as if their energy was very powerful in kind of guiding you as a child and showing you, I don't know, do's and don'ts. I feel like there was a lot of interesting from like grandfather's energy and them. I feel like they instilled like a lot of traditional values to just be a good person, treat people right. Interesting thing, I don't know why I'm seeing like a weird bolo tie clasp. Was there some kind of weird, and it could almost be Boy Scout or like Cub Scout kind of thing?
Yeah, yeah, that makes sense. They were, both of my grandpas actually really encouraged me to at least try Scouts. Like I had no desire, like I didn't want to do it.
Fine, but
and I did, and I actually ended up having a lot of fun. And it was one of those things. Had they not pushed me, I never would have done it. So it makes a lot of sense.
Now, I don't know whether the S is coming in. I don't know if there's a Sam or a Sally or an SA that's tied to you or around you, but I'm seeing that. I'm seeing the SA, and I don't think they're taking me to a state like San Antonio. So if you're not familiar with an SA, the SA initial, I would just be aware of that as a positive connection. Can you take that? Is there an SA connection?
I don't have one that's coming like right to me.
Is there like a SA as like a place? I don't know if they're taking me somewhere because I'm seeing it and it's weird. I'm not hearing it. So the SA San Antonio or like not sure what that is, but I would just be aware of the SA as significant around you. The other thing is I'm not sure why I'm seeing you play like an old school wooden piano. So I don't know if you're musical or not or there, but I'm literally seeing you play a piano. So I don't know if that's something new or this is something from your childhood you got away from. But I feel like there's some kind of energetic connection to that.
Sure, absolutely. The piano definitely makes sense on many levels.
Does it? Okay, because they're showing me, they're imprinting me on that. The funny thing though, I feel like I'm gonna, can we get into a couple of things before I hand it off to Mary Amy? So I feel like, you're trying to process a lot of grief, and I feel like it's almost balled up inside, and you're trying to find a way to release it. The interesting thing, there might be some ties, Kelly, to some of the people calling in tonight, and with you, Eric. I'm also seeing like this creative outlet. I almost feel like you need to get back. And what's weird is it's not necessarily just the piano, but the piano is opening me up to that creative energy. I actually see you write. So I don't know if there's any theatrical screenplay, writing, poetry in there, but I'm actually seeing you write some kind of theatrical play. What is that?
Interesting. I never thought of it in that way, but I just have to say when I first joined and Mary Amy was talking about, this being an experiment, I've been working on a book and the title is called I Am an Experiment.
There you go. Okay. So you need to let that out to the world. And just like I had said to Carol earlier, don't get caught up in the perfectionism that everything has to be so right. And again, if it's 85%, let it go, let it breathe its own life and release that, because you're going to find so much healing in that process and going through that process and letting that go. And I can tell you, your loved ones in spirit, they don't want to see you stuck in that debilitating grief. They want to see you thrive. And there's no right or wrong way to process grief, but I can tell you they are there with you. They're going to try to help direct that journey in the most positive way they can. So I think when you're getting into that zone, the writer zone, when you start trancing, when you're in that space where all the emotions are set aside and you're in the flow, you're in that creative flow, yeah. I do believe you're going to connect to them. If you don't, I think you're already connecting them, because look, we're just starting to open this connection and there's already a lot of information coming through.
Yeah.
So obviously you're a strong channel. Obviously you have a strong energetic connection to them. So if you're feeling like you're disconnected or you're not getting the signs, just be very present and very mindful when you're in those creative moments, because that's when they'll slip in. And also in the dreamlike state. Our loved ones will come to us in the dreams, so don't discredit that. I feel like, do you dream in color? Are there like very elaborate, intricate dreams?
Absolutely. Yeah. I was just going to give you quickly, I did figure out the essay.
Yeah, okay.
So I had a corneal transplant on my left eye about 3 years ago. The little girl's name was Sarah.
Oh, okay. So yeah, and that's what I think I may have said Sarah or Sally or whatever I said initially.
It took a second.
Okay. So understand, as an evidential medium, they want to try to imprint information that there will be no way of me knowing, and you would know, and that kind of, and I hope that can give you some validation that they're around and they're connected, and they absolutely are. And I believe for you, it's in that creative state, that trance state, where they're going to be imprinting their love and their guidance and that connection to you.
Awesome. Yeah.
So I'm going to leave you with that, Eric, with love and light. I'm going to hand this off to Mary Amy. Thank you so much.
Hi. Okay, so you have some crossovers here, but I've written it down. So I was coming up with the same stuff as them. It's a real thing. Okay, so when you first initially started speaking, I saw this bridge and this it's like a tic-tac-toe board, but it's actually a bridge that you're crossing over. And you have to keep going. And then I saw you floating down on a raft by yourself, floating down a river. And so sometimes when I do reads, I get a lot of abstracts or design. So I got that with you, more movement. I guess you could say movement, right? So physical movement. Then I got sleeping dreams. Past, you flip back and forth, past and present. It's very, very important that you pay attention to your sleeping dreams. I don't know if you write them down, but it's important. So I got this thing where it was flipping back and forth because there's conflict. I realized that as I went on. You have deep sadness that is a result of I got baby boy, but boy. So there's a deep sadness within you. And it's sharp and painful, and it can be overtaking, and you need to be left alone, and you get anger. You will shut out the closest people to you. You are someone who needs and wants hugs. You need physical contact. This is what I received. So what do I come up with? Oh, there's more, a couple of things. All right, is that you have a part of your soul has been displaced from this pain that you had as a boy, and that it's separated. And you can either go to a shaman or you can invite it back yourself if you're in a safe place. I don't know if this is making sense to you. I know that you are someone who allows self-care. So it's not something like you're like, oh, I'm not going to take care of myself. I truly received that you do take care of yourself. Your spirit animal I received is a tiger. You have a hidden power that you're not utilizing that you can tap into and activate. Do you have any questions?
No, it makes a lot of sense. It really does. So thank you for that.
Good.
Thank you, Michael, as well.
Oh, thank you, Eric. Appreciate it.
Give me a plug on your album. Your
album out again.
Yeah, absolutely. It's Divine Journey of a Mystic Soul by Michael Edley. It's on all streaming platforms. So wherever you're listening to music, you can get it. But yes, Divine Journey of a Mystic Soul, Michael Edley.
I'll plug what I have. I do have a dream journal on Amazon, Mary Amy, and then I have a spiritual guide and a children's book.
Awesome.
Amazon, yeah.
Very cool. Well, thank you both so much.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Mr. Eric, for showing up.
Yes, thanks, Kelly.
Oh my gosh, you guys. So I'm getting all these questions that now all these people want readings. And I'm like, nope, we're just going to limit it to 2 tonight or we're going to be on for hours.
That'll be for the next time. Next time we're on.
Absolutely. This is for the next time. Okay. So one thing before we leave is we tapped into Ozzy Osbourne a little bit. And I was telling Michael and Mary Amy beforehand that about a week before Ozzy died, I was all of a sudden wanting to watch the Osbournes. So I'm wondering if you two are getting anything around that. And then if there's anything else you want to talk about. And again, we're going to do plugs again as well.
Well, I don't know if you're getting anything, Mary Amy. I mean, I could talk a little bit. Without their family here, I feel a little weird with it, but I do sense there's certain things that are going to unfold around the family that maybe we could talk about, maybe as a premonition or prophetically that'll occur. But do you want to go first, Mary?
No, I don't. It's not even something that I'm going to delve into.
Okay.
So what's interesting for me, so I'll talk a little bit, and then Kelly, if you want to kind of tell me what you're getting around this, but I do sense some conflict that's going to arise around the family. And I don't know whether this is with Sharon and a new relationship or something new, a new person coming into the family. I'm not sure what this is, but I almost sense that there's going to be some kind of pushback towards Sharon in regard to things. I don't know if something's going to come out about, certain things that had happened around the family. And it's unfortunate because I think, she stayed by him and she was with him and supported him the whole way. And look, to live a life with a rock star like Ozzy, who was definitely on the edge, and to be able to keep that together, she definitely had some fantastic energy to be able to navigate that and navigate his career. And she really was the brains behind his career and setting up a lot of those large tours. And I have to say, for me, the funny thing is, I'm a medium, but I'm also a musician. And one of my first big influences was Ozzy Osbourne, and his original guitar player, Randy Rhoads, was phenomenal. Black Sabbath, one of the first really heavy rock bands out there. I was into that stuff as a kid, and it definitely influenced me as a musician. So he was very impactful. But it's interesting because I do think there's going to be some disharmony that flows from the family now. And it's weird because I don't necessarily think it's around like finances and wills and the estate and those type of things, what was left to who. But there may be some stuff around his music, around the licensing and rights of his music. And I think there may be some other people trying to undermine that. But there's also, I think it's going to be tough for Sharon moving on, and possibly, I don't mean moving on in a negative way, but I believe there may be an aspect of her starting a new life. And that's one thing. Anyone that's lost a loved one in spirit, I don't believe that we should, be the martyr and say, I can never date again. I can never find love again. Because I can tell you, on the other side, they want us to find love again. They want you to be able to move forward in the best, most magical way. And they're going to vicariously be there. And look, at love and connection is completely different in the divine realms than it is here on earth. Like the jealousy and the envy and, all that stuff that goes with, relationships and all the dynamics of that. That's part of the human experience. What I get from when I connect to the other side is, love is a universal shared energy that they all, it permeates and connects all of us when we're on the other side. And, someone that's here and maybe gets remarried, they're not going to be completely disconnected and never reconnect with their original husband, original wife, the original spouse. When they connect, they will be there. And I can tell you, the dynamics that will happen and unfold when we cross over are just completely different. So we have a different view on love and connection and marriage here. But I can tell you, they absolutely want us to live in the most vicarious best way. So anyone out there that's dealing with something like that, because I feel like there's people out there that are listening, and It's like, well, I feel so guilty if I go and I try to be happy and I find someone else, or I met someone and I really like them, but does that mean I've completely deceived my spouse that's in spirit? No, absolutely not. I can tell you, your spouse will vicariously join and live that journey with you, and will vicariously live through your happiness. So anyone out there that's really divided over that, your loved one absolutely wants you to be happy and find those loving experiences as you move through this human existence.
I totally agree. And I actually have multiple clients that have recently lost a spouse. And when they're coming in, I'll get to the end of like an hour and a half session, and I'm like, it's okay to date again, by the way. Yeah. And they look at me and they're like, but it's only been 6 months. And I'm like, I know, but when you're ready, they're going to help. Even my uncle and my aunt recently passed. And no lie, within 6 months, someone he became smitten and he started dating. And I'm like, I actually believe his wife helped bring her to him.
They do.
He was supposed to be alone. Like there's something, and maybe this is what we're talking about tonight. And I love that. And honestly, when they are on the other side or wherever we want to say, it is going to be like this to the next person. Then they're going to be reunited. So they're like, have a great time. Find love again. You're too amazing. I'll see you on the flip side. It's okay. I'll be ready for you. Like, right?
I have to agree 100%.
And it's all the human people that are judging. It's like, no. We're here to love. We're here to experience. Okay, Mary Amy's laughing. Go for it.
No, because, well, I just want to say that I did get a raccoon when you're talking about him. So he was an instigator, and I don't know if that's a symbol of him, Ozzy Osbourne. I don't really know. That's why I said keep me out of it, because I'm familiar with the show and a little bit of his music, but I wasn't. Oh, that's nice, Carol. It's not like I could tap into that. So I got raccoon, which they're a little troublesome. But on the about the dating, I had years of doing dating. It's not all it's cracked up to be. I believe that you're supposed to spend a lot of time working on yourself, on your personal journey. Yes, relationships are important. It's very hard. I don't believe there's such a thing as multitasking. You focus on something or you don't focus on something. You can't do 10 things at once. No one can. My brain doesn't work that way. Maybe it's just me. But when it comes to, I understand what you're saying. You don't want people to be in sadness for too long. But then there's also a period of, protecting the memory. I mean, I'm a little old school. I guess I'm old school. And there's plenty of people out there to date. I don't know if they're the perfect person for everyone. I don't know. It's probably not the right thing.
I think in honoring our loved ones, we have to be the best we can be as we move forward. They definitely don't want us to have that martyr syndrome or be debilitated in grief and despair, and we talked about this the other night on the Two Psychics podcast. It was, we all experience pain, and the more and the deeper we love, the deeper that pain is going to be. But our loved ones in spirit, whether that's your family, your friend, your pet, they don't want you to be stuck in a state of suffering. We're all going to experience pain on some level, but we don't need to stick in the goo of suffering. The suffering is debilitating. It serves no positive purpose. They want to see us vicariously move through in the best way, and in moving through in the best way we can, we honor them, and we don't forget them, and we speak about them, and we make them a part of our life as we're moving forward. And I think that's where the love connects us all.
Absolutely. I've actually even had clients, friends, family, loved one on the other side, set me a table or a table setting for Christmas. Don't forget about me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Don't hide my pictures. Talk about me. Share stories.
Yeah.
It's okay. It doesn't have to be hush, hush, hush. Oh, they're not here. Yes.
No, honor them. Yeah. Set the table setting, have their picture out. And I had a pretty amazing experience with a small group, a family that I was doing a group reading for, and they had lost a father. And there was so much validating evidence that came through that, he was talking about the birthday cake, and he showed me the design and what was written on it. And I brought this through to the family, and they just all started crying and he started talking about he was going to be present at the baby's birthday. So they had named a newborn child in the family after him. And he had showed me he's going to be there. And they said, yeah, we're absolutely going to have a place setting for him. And there were characters and different things that he had designed that were on the cake. He was very creative, and they honored him by that. And that was the baby's, first birthday. And he was, the baby was named after him, and the family was honoring that. And he brought through so much validation for that family that he's still around, because that's the big thing. When we're in grief, sometimes we block out those connections and we can't feel their presence. And when someone like you, Kelly, or someone like me can bring through that information and help bring closure and show them that, look, maybe the body is not here and the physical death has occurred, but the soul, it exists beyond death, and our loved ones want to connect to us as much as we want to connect to them.
I just want to add one note. because so that I can be clear on what how I approach things is definitely going to be different than how other people approach things. And I want to add that if someone receives a flash of information, and it could be in regard to how they're handling a situation, what you're just speaking of, grief. It could be when it comes to their career, it could be a relationship. If they receive a flash of information, it's seconds long, it comes through to you. It's like something vivid that you see and you grab onto it. That's meant for you. And it doesn't matter what other people's opinion is. If it's right for you, you will get a flash of information. What I'm talking about is kind of a gut reaction, an intuition, but it could be something coming from the universe. It's a message for you. It could be your spirit just kind of giving you a nudge. It could be an angel sending it to you, but you get this flash of information and it will tell you what you should do if you're puzzled about something. And it happens to me, and it happened to me yesterday. I was telling Michael earlier that I had 5 premonitions yesterday at my job, one of my jobs, and it was bizarre. I said, "What's going on here?" I got these 5 very vivid flashes, and I'm developed in this, but people who aren't might get them, and then if they focus on it and they receive it, they can actually be their own psychic, and it's within them. Everyone has the answers within them. Just saying.
Oh, that's perfect. I no lie. I actually started to giggle by the end of the day today. I saw 1111. I saw 111. I saw 222. I saw 333. I saw 444 and 555 today. I have never seen all of them in the same day, and I wasn't setting a timer. I got to the point where I was just giggling, and I would look down. I'm like, of course it's 111, and then I was like doing my stuff, and then I was, of course it's 222. Never seen that all. And I giggled and I was like, okay, guys, what are you trying to tell me? Rather than getting scared or just putting my head down or doing what some other people do. I was like, okay, what are we talking about? I think they're telling
you you're in alignment. You're aligning. Yeah. You're aligning and it's all coming together.
Oh my gosh. Like in the same day, you guys. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that's cool. Very cool.
There's a lot of energy that's shifting around on the planet, and a lot of the darkness is leaving and more is coming through. So we're multidimensional beings of light, and your DNA that's dormant is coming to the surface and it's activating. So everyone's psychic abilities are going to come forward.
Oh, it's going to be so much fun. Okay, so I'm excited to be on the planet right now. If you can't feel it, and I know there's a lot going on, and I know there's but I'm hopeful. I know I'm here for a reason. I'm super excited. I love what I do. This is what we got to do tonight. Right? This is fantastic. I get to work with my husband and create beautiful, award-winning magazine. Bam! I love when Carol was like community and her questions what can she do to serve the community? That is beautiful. And I feel I'm serving the community and you two are serving the community. And we are, I think both of you saw bridges. We are bridges. Yeah. So when all of these people are, I don't want to say wakening up because they just have to rediscover. It's all just hello, McFly. Hello. And we're just a couple steps ahead where we're like, come on in, the water's fine. Let's rock. You don't need to be scared. Let's do this. Okay. I'll get off my soapbox for a moment.
No, it's great. It's great. And I love, like you had spoken about earlier, like minds coming together, being able to discuss this stuff, being able to be part of the awakening. As the human race awakens, more and more people are going to be connected to this, and it's people like us that, we're the light bringers. We have to talk about this stuff. It's so important that, we shed light on what we're experiencing and what we've gone through. So others that are experiencing the same thing, can navigate it in the best way possible, and Kelly, I love your energy. I can't wait. So I just have to say, I can't wait till you're on Two Psychics podcast because we're going to have part 2 of this.
Oh yeah. We'll just bridge it up.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I know. I will share it. We had an event a couple of weeks ago, and the word I kept hearing the words, "I'm not alone. I'm not crazy, and I want a community. And I'm like, come on aboard.
Yeah.
We'll cue the Aussie and get on the crazy train, but we'll have a great time.
Well,
Oh
we're
my
all
goodness.
a
Well,
little
thanks, you
crazy,
guys.
so
It's been
bring it
amazing.
together, you know.
Yeah, come on. I mean, let's go. The one thing I did get on Ozzy was he was an open channel. I think they called him the Prince of Darkness, and I really think that was a mislabel. I think people need to start listening to some of the words of his songs. I think that he was a musician and collaborator, and I do agree with what you were saying about things possibly coming down the pipeline and the family and or people in their universe. So I'll close that book with that. Yeah. And you know, optimal outcomes.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love that you bring that up about him, because if you listen to some of his lyrics, some of them were truly about lifting people out of depression, lifting people out of the box that they were in. And I think it's funny because that was a persona, you know, biting the bat's head off and all these different things. Yeah, that stuff happened. But the interesting thing, there were a lot of times where you saw him talking about, you know, the divine channeling when he wrote music. You know, he would say it came from somewhere else. You know, this song lyric just popped into my mind, or I heard this guitar riff. And he had talked about almost like a trance channeling, a divine channeling, that I think all artists that are doing things on that high of a level are divinely channeling that information. You know, whether it's a painter, a writer, a musician, you know, we are all divine channels. And when we can tune into that, that's where the real special stuff happens.
Well, I've even said like an accountant, you know, those people that can look at a spreadsheet and they're just like boom, 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 boom. That's pure channel. Or a trial lawyer, like how they can do that? Like, oh my gosh, we all just use our gifts and abilities differently.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, Mary Amy, what's going on in your world? What
in my world?
Yeah.
Well, I'm working on my book. I'm doing podcasts weekly with Michael, 2 psychics, and you can find us on all the different platforms. So my book is Miracle Healing Continuum, Angel and Extraterrestrial Contactee. And so I have sketches and illustrations. Yeah. And I'm working on that, and I have to get it done. So that's my focus. And
your guides all of a sudden started to do that. They're like, they're waiting. Your lights just went and started to flicker.
Yeah, no, it's way more than a guide. It's something that I have to complete. And it's been very cathartic because I've really, it's helped me develop myself more and look at myself, because I talk about my past and, you know, traumas and near-death experiences and spirits. And I actually met Michael at my first Awaken fair in New York City. And I had spirits coming to me for 4 months. And I was like, I don't want this. I don't want it. No. And they wouldn't leave me alone. I didn't sleep. I'm not joking, for 4 months, because I did want to do it. I said, no, I didn't feel comfortable. I didn't understand it. And then I saw Michael, and we had a break while we were giving readings and we were taking photos. And I said, hey, I don't know why. I literally walked right over to him and just started having conversations with a random stranger. And I must know him from a past life. And I said, what do I do? You're a medium. Tell me about this. And I didn't even know about mediums, really. I didn't know a lot. I just knew I had some uncovered gifts, and I was always intuitive and empathic. And I was trying to figure it out. And he said, well, make an appointment with them. Say this day at this time. And I said, what? Really? Okay. So I announced it. And then they stopped. It stopped. But then it took the power away, because I said, okay, I'll make an appointment. I did have a couple come through to me, and I did do that. But now they come to me every night. And I'm fine with it. I love it. And they make themselves known. At first, it's like they come right up into my face. As soon as I close my eyes, they come right up into my face. So that's how I met Michael. And then we just stayed friends, and we were friendly, and we did interviews, and Then January 2024, we started a couple months before. He said, you know what? All right, we can do a radio show. We can do a podcast. And I said, okay, we'll have topics and guests and we'll just see where it goes. And we just kept going.
Yeah. So
I get that you saw each other and you're like, hello, old friend, let's rock.
Something. I don't know what was. And then I came back one time. I had this guy, I had formed this partnership and we were doing reality show pitches. And then I said, forget about the reality show pitches. Just do videos of me talking about love and light. And I said, I'm going to be a host. That's what I decided. I'm going to be a host. So we went to another Awaken Fair a few years later, and I set it up with Michael. And what was the guy that who was my friend, who was videotaping Michael and I, he just said, I don't know about his energy, something about his energy. And then something happened and it flew off the table, and it was crazy. And then
weird stuff happens with that psychic
on the
energy,
ground.
you know,
And then I had to write
going out.
Oh no, it was bizarre. It was like, what just happened? So I don't know. And then I knew he was the real deal. He's an evidential medium. He's a Yale number 33 psychic.
I don't know if Kelly knows, but I am a scientific research medium, and that's kind of brought me down a very interesting path, you know, working as a scientific research medium and trying to prove the continuity of life. And I can tell you in the Yale labs, it's proven, you know, absolutely. The continuity of life has been proven by scientists. You know, there is no ifs, ands, or buts about it. It's unfortunate that it hasn't become mainstream like it should be, but fortunately there's people like us, again, talking about it and bringing it to the forefront. But again, just speaking about what Mary Amy talks about, making the appointment, I want everyone out there to know that we are in control when we're connecting to spirit, whether we're a developing psychic, we're building upon that psychic energy to become a medium, we're in control. And it's like a volume knob, you know, and the more you practice, the more you do it, the more in control you are. And, you know, like I'm not on 10 all the time. Like right now I'm more tuned in, but I'm not even on 10 right now, you know, but there's times where I shut it down, you know. I like giving the description of the old school volume knob, you know.
I was just about to say it's an old school volume knob on the radio. Like it's totally
exactly,
right?
Exactly.
I think people think that we just walk around all the I'll actually be in a meeting and they'll be like, don't you read me? And I'm like, no, I'm not doing that right now. I'm a human.
A process.
Like there's a process, right? I'm not doing that. No. I'm not like checking in when you're having sex with your husband. No, I'm not doing that. But people think that we walk around and do that. It's like, no,
I mean, we can remote view, but
right.
Okay.
But I have to want to do that.
Yeah, exactly. No, it's a process, and that's the thing. I think people not understanding mediumship think, "Wow, is that person going to be reading my mind? Like, what's going on?" Like Mary Amy's cameraman many years ago when they came to do an interview with me, you know, and he wasn't really aware of psychics and mediums, and it was very new to him, and he was very overwhelmed. And then we started having things move and electric going out, and you know, I'm like, well, that's part of the process. And he kind of jumped in feet first and got the full effect.
I love it. Okay, Michael, you have your music. Hold the
yes.
The graphic up again because I want it.
I will send. I don't know if you have a way to play a CD, but if you do, I'll send you an actual.
I do. I have a 2013.
There you go.
Avenza. I love to. I drive around all the time and just listen to it on replay.
All right. So you gotta. So when we're off air, you gotta message me or email me your info. We'll exchange our info, and I'll make sure you get a copy. But it's Divine Journey of a Mystic Soul by Michael Edley. It's on all streaming platforms. Again, Divine Journey of a Mystic Soul. It incorporates hemisync, binaural beats, but then it also, if there's anyone else out there that's interested in what we're doing, Two Psychics podcast on Facebook. I also have my Eye of the Spirits with Michael Edley on Facebook and my website, eyeofthespirits.com, if you'd like to reach out and see what we're doing. And, you know, we're in the planning stage of some really cool future events and some really big stuff for 26. But in addition to that, anything that I'm doing, you know, I'd love to maybe have you come out to the city and do something with us. That might be really cool.
Yeah. And then you can come to the Midwest and you can look around and go, This is amazing.
Yeah,
No
absolutely.
cow tipping. No, I'm just kidding. We don't.
But well, it'll be more in the Zen state. It's all hustle and bustle and go, go, go here on the East Coast. So it'll be a nice change of scenery to get out there.
Oh, that's amazing. Well, you guys, everybody, this is just the beginning of a fantastic collaboration. And yes, I am going to be on their podcast in the coming weeks. So this is part 1. Okay, you guys, this is Mary Amy, and I actually said her name right. and Michael, and they have the Two Psychics podcast. When is the Two Psychics podcast? What time and what date?
Well, we it's pre-recorded, so it's we were doing it on Thursdays, and like we have one on Wednesday, so we have one upcoming August 13th Wednesday,
okay. And
it's with a Palladian channel and Akashic Records, and we also have another one next week as well, Brian Lahr, and he is an angel card oracle deck creator, and he has a podcast. So we have 2 next week. And then the following week, we have, I don't remember her name, but if you go to Facebook, Two Psychics Podcast, I post all of the upcoming guests. You can find us on YouTube, on our Two Psychics YouTube channel, Rumble, Mary Amy Official. It's on Spreaker, Two Psychics. Two Psychics is on Spotify, iTunes, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music. It's everywhere.
So you can find that.
Yeah.
We're throwing out episodes all the time, so just jump on. But generally, it's on Thursdays. Yeah, Thursday evenings. Usually, the new episodes will launch. But we're putting a lot of stuff out there, and we're gonna have you on pretty soon. And that's gonna be. I can't wait for that one. That's gonna be a great episode.
It's going to be great. And if Christine Day, who's a Palladian ambassador, writes a monthly column for us. So if you want a connection, I'll try to, because I think you'd have fun.
Please. Yeah, definitely. Please. If I can, what's her name? I'll just find it.
Christine Day. Hi, Christine. See, I'm sharing your goodness. And yes, she's a Palladian ambassador. And I have a feeling that we're going to be able to share guests on a regular basis because we're very, very curious.
We're building a community. Building a community, and
building
it's going to be a great, fantastic one.
Okay,
you guys. We were like, we're going to go like half hour, 45 minutes, and we're now at an hour and a half. So yay. I appreciate you too. And I will see you very, 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 very soon. Elevate your consciousness with each issue of the Edge magazine delivered straight to your doorstep. Immerse yourself in a community of curious teachers and seekers dedicated to the collective growth and understanding. Each glossy edition is a portal to expand awareness, featuring the latest in metaphysical and holistic products, services, events, and books. Let our engaging articles and comprehensive practitioner directory guide you on your journey towards higher consciousness. With every issue, raise your vibration and deepen your connection to the universe, one enlightening read at a time. Subscribe today at edgemagazine.net/subscribe and embark on a transformative exploration here, there, and everywhere.